Alright, and we are now starting our very first game of the open season on week 1. We have the Grizzlies against the Buccaneers. We're going to be starting out on Lijiang Tower, which is a control map. So both teams have to go to the central point in order to capture as much time as they can in order to score a point. Now this match is a best of 3, so a team has to score 2 points in order to complete the round. We have Rad over here on Reinhardt, which is his main. We then have Blue on Pharah, Jimmy Buckets on Symmetra, Royal on Ana, and Shully on Mercy. Alright, it looks like both teams are currently fighting it out inside of the point right here. We got Blue dealing a lot of damage right here, picking up a double kill and knocking the Orisa out and actually eliminating Orisa, as well as flying directly over this Junkrat, making it very difficult for this Junk to hit any shots on him, as that grenade launcher is not a hit scan weapon.
The pharmacy tactic is very powerful with this group, and they seem to be doing a really good job at it.
Absolutely. The Grizzlies are keeping the Buccaneers back very, very well right here. Looks like the damage boost from Shully onto Blue right here as far as really dealing a junk ton of damage. And it looks like the Buccaneers are going for a flank, but I don't know if it's going to work too well because the Grizzlies are already directly on top of that. A lot of damage is being dealt to the Grizzlies right here. However, they are getting some eliminations on the opposing team right there. Blue getting a triple kill with his ultimate and a 4 kill with Shully getting the revive on Rad, and that is a team kill for the Grizzlies, completely resetting the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers really need to figure out how to deal with their pharmacy strat, because that seems to be a really big downfall in them.
Absolutely. So it looks like the only thing that the Buccaneers can do to really counter this pharmacy strat that the Grizzlies have going on is to use somebody like Cassidy or somebody like Baptiste or Soldier 76 who has a hit scan weapon that would allow them to snipe Blue out of the air. And it looks like they've actually done some of that, as I see one of their supports have switched over to Baptiste to use his 3-burst rifle, and Rad gets a beautiful ultimate right here, a very beautiful Earth Shatter, absolutely ruining the Buccaneers, and it is almost a 100% team wipe right here. That poor Cassidy tried to jump off the map, but it didn't quite work for him. The Grizzlies are doing an absolutely beautiful job on keeping the Buccaneers away from this point, and they only have 5 seconds into which they need to capture this point in order to get 1 point out of 3. And it looks like this first round goes to the Grizzlies, so we're going to be moving to our second round in order to secure the best out of 3 for this match. And just to clarify, the Grizzlies are going to be on a red color, and the Buccaneers are going to be blue. So this is the second area of Lijiang Tower, and it is the exact same format. Both teams will push into the central point right here in order to capture this. There is no time limit, however, they just have to score as many points as they can, as quickly as they can. So it looks like Blue has switched over to his main, Genji. Hopefully we're going to see an amazing Nano Blade with Royal's Nano Shot from Ana right here. Rad has switched over to Sigma, which is definitely one of his best characters. I was playing with him in practice earlier, and oh my goodness, he was going crazy.
Oh, that's beautiful. They just did a TP strat where they can just go straight down in the point and onto the other team.
Absolutely. Looks like both teams were using Symmetra to do the teleport strat. It looks like the Buccaneers just cannot compete with Rad right here, going in as Sigma. Absolutely ruining the Buccaneers.
The Symmetra turrets are doing a lot of damage to the Buccaneers as well.
Absolutely. Jimmy Bucket's turrets as Symmetra are doing amazing amounts of damage. Looks like Blue is doing the exact same strat as he did in the preseason qualifiers. He's going up towards their spawn in order to deal as much damage as absolutely possible before the Buccaneers even think about making it to the point. A lot of good damage from Rad and Blue right here. It's making it difficult for the Buccaneers to even do anything at this point.
They just got him in a
Huge
tight
deflect.
hold there.
That was a huge deflect by Blue right there, knocking that Junkrat's bomb right back into him. Blue is absolutely pushing up, basically into the Buccaneers spawn room in order to deal as much damage as possible. Does look like his Dragon Blade is ready. I think he's just going to be waiting for Royal's Ana Nano in order to power up his ultimate to deal as much damage as possible. And here it goes. He's going in. He grabs 1 kill. Rad assisting with 2. And Shully as Battle Mercy getting the 3rd kill. And the 4th kill also goes to Shully. And that is almost a team wipe for the Grizzlies right there. Absolutely amazing performance by all of our people.
They're really good at coordinating their ults to get the maximum profit.
Absolutely. I 100% agree right there. I don't think that could have gone any better. We had a Royal Nano, we had a Blue Dragon Blade, and we had a Shully damage boost. That was absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of damage being traded right here. That is an ultimate by Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Buckets is symmetric, dealing a lot of damage to these people.
These Buccaneers cannot seem to catch a break.
Absolutely not. Between Blue and Jimmy Buckets dealing absolute damage, even our Mercy is dealing a junk ton of damage right here. And that looks like Team 2, which is the Grizzlies, has taken home the victory for this first match, giving them a 1-0 lead. Let's see who the play of the game goes to. Oh, looks like Blue as Farah is getting the play of the game right here, absolutely dunking on the Buccaneers. As Farah.
This was an awesome ult.
Absolutely. Blue did a great job right here getting this ultimate. Basically getting the entire team to himself. A beautiful 4K by Blue right here. And we're going to be switching over to the second round. And we are taking this game over to King's Row, which is a hybrid map. And the Grizzlies are still going to be red, and the Buccaneers are going to be blue. So the point of the game is there is 2 teams, attackers and defenders. The defenders have to defend a point from the attackers. Once the attackers capture that point, they have to escort a payload from their side of the map all the way to the defender side of the map in order to win the game.
Sorry.
Continue.
I was just saying that the Grizzlies have a lot of experience on this map.
Absolutely. I have seen a lot of amazing Grizzly plays, especially Blue's Widowmaker plays, which I see that he's going to be doing some Widowmaker plays in order to really get the edge on the Buccaneers. Maybe pick a few of them off, maybe one-tap a few of them. Who knows? We'll see.
Usually he tries to get a first lucky pick.
Absolutely. So the Grizzlies are going to be attacking first, so that means they are going to be trying to capture a point from the Buccaneers and then push the payload all the way to their side of the map. And then the sides are going to switch, and all the Grizzlies have to do is stop the Buccaneers from capturing the first point and taking that payload all the way to the end. Looks like Abe Rad is leading the charge right here as Reinhardt with his beautiful golden axe that he is so proud of getting just the other day. Dealing a lot of damage to the Buccaneers. However, that Baptiste invincibility disco ball is really stopping that damage.
But it seemed to have pushed them back just enough. Hopefully they can keep this forward momentum.
Absolutely. Rad is dealing a junk ton of damage right here to the opposing Ryan. Looking to try to pin him, however, does not quite get the pin, but does get the elimination. Blue picking up some snipes. Jimmy Buckets absolutely folding them. Blue is still getting some snipes up here as Widowmaker. Let's see if he can get one pick for the stream. He's really eyeing their spawn room right here, waiting for them to come out. It looks like there's that Ryan. Easy headshot from Blue right there, dealing a lot of damage to that Reinhardt. And now the Grizzlies are pushing this payload. Well, attempting to. There we go. Royal has jumped on the payload as Lucia, who uses an area of effect healing and speed boost for her team. Got Jimmy Buckets and Rad staying back to defend this payload. And it looks like we have maybe a damage boosted Widowmaker right here as Blue. But it looks like Shully has gone back to the original team. Or has died to the opposing Kiriko. I did not realize that. My bad, Shully. Sorry, my man. So we got Rad pushing up right here, attempting to deal some more damage to the Buccaneers as they're really not trying to contest this payload very much. They're trying to stick back as Blue is dealing a lot of damage. It looks like he's got a personal problem with that corner right there, Rad. I saw that. Don't think I didn't. Beautiful Earth Shatter by Rad right there. stunning all 5 of the Buccaneers. And takes out the Kiriko. It looks like this Ryan is going to fall as well. Beautiful, beautiful team kill by the Grizzlies right there. Let's hope Rad doesn't catch a corner on this next pin. I'm sorry, Rad. Looks like Blue is already up here, attempting to get some picks, but this opposing Tracer is really proving a problem to him. But with Blue's aim, I feel like he can definitely hit this Tracer. But he does sadly fall to the Tracer. My bad, Blue.
He fell to the Reaper.
Oh, to the Reaper. I didn't even see that. All right, we got a damage boosted Jimmy Buckets with his ultimate right here. Let's see if he can do a junk ton of damage with this ultimate, because his ultimate is pure legal aimbot on Soldier 76. Hearing some beautiful callouts from the team right now. And speaking of callouts, we can go ahead and have a listen in on their comms.
Nice. Reaper go dead.
Reaper behind, Reaper behind.
Reaper on me, I'm dead.
I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive.
Dead. Shane needs help.
I'm dead, I'm dead.
Let's force it down.
Hey, we
Roll
pushed
back
too
in.
far.
Nice. Kicking back.
Oh my god.
Watch out, both your supports are on their way back. Maybe if you can charge back. Got you.
Fabulous,
old-
fabulous, fabulous. Rain down, rain down.
We're dead.
Let's go, baby.
I hear
Reaper's up
Reaper.
top.
No blossom.
Where is he?
Not
Where is he?
worried.
Where is he?
Yes,
He
he's
d
gonna
yeah,
try
he
and
does
blossom.
not have he doesn't have it right now.
He doesn't
though.
have
Now
it?
we
Okay.
did.
We're good.
So.
Nice pick.
Fabulous.
And that was a beautiful team kill by the Grizzlies right there, as well as a beautiful listen in.
Wonderful communication.
Absolutely. We heard a lot of I'm deads going on the other side. However, that team kill was a beautiful comeback. Rad falls to the Reaper. Alright, so we're waiting for Shully to use his ultimate on Blue up here. Looks like Blue is getting some beautiful picks as damage boosted Widowmaker.
He has deadly aim.
Absolutely. Flinging himself up into the air, just like what you see right here. Trying to really pick off these squishies who only have around 200 health. He can easily one-shot each of them. Beautiful res by Shully right there in order to get Abe back into the game. However, Rad does fall once more. And this payload is so close to the final part of this map. All the Grizzlies have to do is just push it a few more feet, and they've secured this round's victory.
That Reaper seems to be giving Blue a tough time, though.
Absolutely, I agree. A Widow's worst nightmare is another hero whose abilities work the best in close range. It looks like Blue has switched over to Genji for that specific reason. And he looks like he's trying to solo this Reaper, throwing a spray down on the ground for the pure disrespect of it all, because that's just the kind of man Blue is. He loves to bring the swag and style on the opposing team. Looks like the opposing Bastion's ultimate, a rain of missiles on the Grizzlies, did a lot of damage. And that was a Reaper ultimate that Jimmy Buckets was able to perfectly counter. Looks like he's still going in with Rad in order to deal a lot of damage and try to push this payload all the way to the very end. But it looks like Rad was cornered, and it's just up to Jimmy Buckets. And I'm seeing that Shully has switched over to Moira, which could potentially be a good play for some team healing with her biotic orbs.
And it seems as though the Grizzlies are very close to having more ultimates than the Buccaneers, and hopefully they'll play that to their advantage.
Right. With Royal's ultimate, the nano shot, and Jimmy Bucket's ultimate with his legal aimbot, there's gonna be some carnage happening here in a moment. Beautiful communication between the team right here. Jimmy Bucket's picking up a kill, however his ultimate does run out, but Rad is picking up some eliminations as well. And their opposing Reinhardt fell off the map. That could really sell it for the Buccaneers right here as the Grizzlies push this payload closer and closer. And that is a first round victory for the Grizzlies. They really came together for that last bit. So now we're going to be switching sides. The Grizzlies are going to have to defend the point and the payload from the Buccaneers who are attacking. However, if they fail to do so and the Buccaneers are able to bring that payload all the way to the Grizzlies side of the field with more than 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining, they will have won the round. And I'm hearing a lot of exceptionally happy expressions from the Grizzly team in the other room. Sounds like something amazing is going on, and I think we have yet to see what that amazing thing is going to be. Oh, we got Blue busting it down with some Genji moves right here. He's doing his best to absolutely style on the Buccaneers. Man, he's really getting it right there, isn't he? Look at that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And we got Rad absolutely styling, flexing for everybody with his beautiful new golden axe. And, you know, Royal's no fun, so she's just sitting at the top like this. My apologies, Royal. I didn't mean it that way. It looks like Blue... Oh my goodness, Blue just deflected the opposing Widowmaker's sniper shot right back into her face, dealing the first elimination of the round. Blue, that was beautiful, my man.
That was glorious.
That was beautiful. I've only done that maybe once or twice, but I see this man do it just about every time he's against a Widowmaker.
I would be raging if I was that Widowmaker right now.
I definitely would be as well. And it looks like he's trying to do, and he does it again almost. However, that Widow shot wasn't fully charged, but he does go finish the kill. And it looks like he's trying to get countered right here. I think the Buccaneers are really starting to realize that Blue is a force to be reckoned with on DPS and on Genji specifically. And all of his kills have basically come from just deflecting the Buccaneers shots right back at them, which is something that he's extremely good at. The Grizzlies are doing an exceptional job at keeping the Buccaneers back right now. However, they are getting pushed back ever so slightly by the Buccaneers' Orisa, who's using her Javelin in order to forcefully push the Grizzlies back. Looks like Rad and Shully have both fallen, and the Buccaneers are starting to gain some progress on capturing this point. They're already half of the way there as we speak.
I believe this is the moment that the Buccaneers needed.
Absolutely. I think they needed a little bit of morale boost, especially after that initial Widow shot that Blue happened to just deflect right back at them.
I know I would need it.
Because I would definitely be soul crushed after something like that. And it looks like Blue's Nano Blade, or Dragon Blade, is already ready. And it looks like Royal's Nano is ready as well, and so is Shully's ultimate for some damage boost and some healing. I'm excited to see what's about to go on. You got Jimmy Bucket's ultimate, his aimbot is also ready. And it looks like Blue is going in, already getting some kills. However, that Kiriko using her invincibility to her advantage. Blue picking up 2 kills with the Nano Blade, dealing as much damage as possible whilst being damage boosted by Shully. Absolutely beautiful eliminations by Blue right here. Absolutely beautiful team wipe. Not team wipe, almost a team wipe by the Grizzlies. Looks like they're trying to push back and regroup a little bit in order for Shully and I believe Royal to return.
Supports get back very quickly because Rad is very low.
Absolutely. Rad has 10 health out of his 625,
And
which
let's see if he can hold on.
it
Oh,
looks like Shully has come in for the clutch for Mr.
Just
Rad right
in
there,
time.
just in time. However, this payload is just getting closer and closer and closer. All they got to do is stop it from reaching the checkpoint in order for the Buccaneers to not be able to spawn closer to the payload. It's like Rad dealing a lot of damage, taking out their DPS with absolute ease. It looks like he's trying to focus their opposing Kiriko, who is continuously pocketing the Orisa, and the Grizzlies don't need that. Amazing pushback by the Grizzlies right there. However, I would be expecting a flank from the Buccaneers. And it looks like their Reaper is beginning to go for a flank. However, he decided to come in and begin shooting and then retreats once more. Beautiful Earth Shatter by Mr. Rad right there.
Oh, Blue's all.
And a beautiful Dragon Blade by Blue. My apologies, man. I didn't get to catch that. But I'm sure that your replay will, and I'm sure the YouTube will see it later. Blue is dealing a lot of damage to the Buccaneers right here as soon as they're trying to make it out of their spawn room. Really a wake-up call to the Buccaneers that Blue means business right here.
And he's not afraid to get up and close with them as well.
Absolutely, especially with Genji's movement. Genji is able to get himself in and out of situations exceptionally quickly, which is also why I main Genji myself. It looks like Rad is exceptionally unhappy with the fact that he is extremely low and expressing his concern.
I would be too, since he just perished.
He has just fallen. It looks like the Buccaneers are getting a little bit of a lead on the Grizzlies. It is almost time for Jimmy Buckets to have his ultimate right here and absolutely wreak havoc on the Buccaneers. I'm excited to see how this is going to work.
Let's see if the Grizzlies can get it before their next checkpoint.
Ideally, the Grizzlies should be able to stop them before they hit that checkpoint. However, it is not the end of the game. Beautiful
Nice.
elimination right there. And it looks like the Grizzlies are stopping that payload right before it hits the checkpoint. This little barricade right here is the checkpoint. They have stopped it just before that, which is absolutely amazing.
And I'm very happy to see that they are watching for flanks, because in the past they did have an issue with
Sombras, specific
Yeah.
Sombras.
Yep. But I'm glad that they learned their lesson from the past.
Absolutely. This team has grown so much in the past semester. Beautiful deflection of that Bastion grenade by Blue. He's doing a great job at just deflecting any kind of damage the Buccaneers want to deal towards him right back at them.
The Buccaneers have one good last push before I think it is.
Because if they don't get that checkpoint in 20 seconds, the game will be over in the Grizzlies' favor. All they have to do is contest it, and it will go into overtime. And that overtime will allow them to hit the checkpoint, and it'll give them extra time on their clock. However, they have to get to the point first, and Blue is doing a great job at just absolutely keeping them back. However, they have made it to the point, but Rad is still sitting there, stunning the Bastion out of his minigun and dealing lots of damage to this Orisa. However, he is taking a lot of damage himself as that Orisa is nano, and he uses his ultimate, dealing as much damage as possible. However, he does not quite get an elimination. Looks like that is an Orisa ultimate that takes out the healer Shully, and it looks like there's a lot of damage being dealt to the Grizzlies right here. Blue falls, and it looks like Rad is going to fall very soon as well, and he does. And the Buccaneers pulled it together in overtime in order to get that payload to the checkpoint. Now there's another minute and 20 seconds on the clock in order for them to get it all the way to this spot right here, just as the Grizzlies did in their round before. Lots of deflected damage right there by Blue. Just trying to keep them pushed back. Looks like the Orisa is attempting to knock Blue off the map. However, as Genji, he can just climb right back up that wall. So it wouldn't do much good. Blue is doing a lot of damage to the opposing Bastion. However, he just gets healed fully as soon as Blue does his dash. Lots of conflict happening, especially because this is endgame. The Buccaneers have 33 seconds in order to get that payload all the way to the opposing side. They do use the Kiriko ult in order to reduce their cooldowns and increase their rate of fire to try to deal as much damage as possible. Shully and Jimmy Buckets do fall to the Buccaneers. However,
They have.
beautiful ultimate by Rad, almost taking down that Bastion. Looks like it's all up to Royal and Jimmy Buckets now to try to take them out. No, he almost had the Reaper Death Blossom, That was so close right there. That could have been a game-winning play by Jimmy Buckets right there. However, he was slept by the Ana. So it looks like round 2 is now over, and we're moving into the final round.
So basically, since they all got 3 points, they all got it to the end, they are now in overtime. The Grizzlies, they have 1:16 to get one more point than the opposing team, and well, to get as many points as they can. But if they are able to stop them, it'll switch over to the Buccaneers, and they have 0 seconds. I believe it will go up to 30 seconds for them to capture the first point, and then after that, it's in overtime. So it's going to be a very hard win for the Buccaneers if they do get it.
I have full faith in the Grizzlies in order to pull together right here. Looks like Jimmy Buckets is going to be attempting a Symmetra strat, and I'm excited to see this. And this is almost unheard of, seeing Rad talking on the phone as Winston the Monkey right here. Absolute beautiful gentleman. And Royal on Baptiste. That is also something I've never seen before. And Blue has switched over to Bastion, so I'm super excited to see how this is going to work out for the Grizzlies. Beautiful teleportation by Jimmy Buckets right there. There's a lot of damage being dealt to the Buccaneers and to the Grizzlies. Beautiful revive by Shelly right there in order to get Blue back into the game to deal as much damage as possible. Looks like Rad is jumping in as Winston.
That was a beautiful way of creating chaos.
Absolutely. The teleport onto the top of Zenyatta statue's head was absolutely beautiful. Great job, Jimmy Buckets. Playing Symmetra was definitely the play. However, it looks like the Grizzlies' advance was pushed back ever so slightly by the Buccaneers, but they've got to be able to come back in 20 seconds in order to take this point. As long as they are able to receive overtime, this point will be theirs. Looks like Blue has switched back to Genji, as he's definitely more comfortable on Genji. That would happen to be an Orisa ultimate right there.
They need to stay on the point or else they will not get it.
Absolutely. They need to stay on the point because it is now in overtime. And the Grizzlies have got to come back and get this done. Blue using his Dragon Blade in order to take out their healers. Beautiful. Beautiful play by Blue right there with the Dragon Blade, taking out the tank and both of the assaults. And that right there is the win for the Grizzlies, making the score 2-0. And we're now going to be moving into the third round of the open season competition. Play of the game does go to my man Rad as Reinhardt, throwing a snowball at the Buccaneers. Let's see what this play of the game is. Beautiful Earth Shatter. And that is the second game of Week 1 open season. We are now into the third game of the Week 1 open season Overwatch 2 game. And we are going to be on Dorado. This map is never before seen in these streams, so this will be definitely new to a lot of you viewers. So this is an escort map. All they have to do, the attacking team, is escort this payload all the way to the opposing side of the map. And just like in the last games, it looks like the Grizzlies are going to be attacking first. Grizzlies are on the red team, Buccaneers on the blue team.
Dorado is one of my favorite maps to play on. So I'm excited to see this.
Personally, I'm not the way. Rad on Junker Queen.
Oh!
That is different. I have never seen this man play Junker Queen before.
I have, and he's fairly good, I would say.
And it looks like two of the players on our team are using the mythic skins for their characters. You know that the Grizzlies always are fully swagged out. It looks like Blue and Rad right here are having a spray battle. And of course Blue wins, because he's the swaggiest out of all of them. Alright, it looks like they're already pushing the payload a little bit. I'm honestly fairly surprised. that the Buccaneers are not already on the payload.
And from what I just saw, I'm fairly certain that their Reaper, the Buccaneers Reaper, was up top trying to get a flank down, but Blue just saw that immediately and went up there and contested him. It was beautiful.
Wrong team. Looks like Royal with a beautiful Egyptian golden rifle right here. Playing the DP support role, I'm guessing. Looks like Blue is deflecting a lot of the damage that Bastion could have just done. However, Jimmy Buckets does fall to the Reaper. Rad is just got slapped by the Ana. However, he's about to get in there with a vengeance. I can feel it.
He has
Looks
been
like his
anti though.
ultimate.
And-
Oh, uses his ultimate, but falls to that Reaper. That was upsetting. Looks like the opposing Winston is now down, as well as the Bastion. Blue and Jimmy Buckets, our DPS guys, absolutely running in and dealing some crazy damage to the Buccaneers. And it looks like Royal's ultimate nano boost is ready, and so is Blue's. So this nano blade is going to be absolutely beautiful. We are now into the third game. It's like of the week 1. Abe Rad is attempting to keep the Buccaneers back from attacking Blue, who is currently low. Never before seen in these. I can hear them talking about a nano blade in the other room. So you know I've got to spectate my boy Blue. Takes out both of the supports and deals a lot of damage right there. 3 eliminations by Blue and 1 by Jimmy Buckets. And looks like Rad is attempting to take down their tank as well. Beautiful, almost team wipe by the Grizzlies, and it was just enough to get their payload to the first checkpoint, allowing them to spawn closer.
So I'm excited to see this.
Personally, I'm not the way. That was a beautiful push by the Grizzlies right there in order to secure that first checkpoint. I have never seen this man play Junker Queen. What is different about Dorado than on the hybrid maps is the fact that there are 2 checkpoints rather than 1. So the Grizzlies in total have 3 spawn rooms. As always, are completely swagged out. It looks like Blue and Rad right here are having a spray battle. Beautiful Earth Shatter by Rad right there, absolutely ruining the Buccaneers. Huge damage by Rad.
So nice.
That was beautiful. Oh, just barely misses the pin on the Winston, but Jimmy Buckets and Rad, sorry, Blue, were really hunting that Winston down.
But Blue just saw that immediately.
That payload is just continuously getting closer and closer and closer to the opposing side. Wrong team. Looks like Royal with a beautiful Egyptian golden. It's like Rad is doing his best to block a lot of damage, and Blue completely deflecting a fire swipe by the opposing Ryan. Support role, I'm guessing.
Their Reaper keeps trying to do a flank, but the comms from the Grizzlies has prevented him from doing any successfully.
Jimmy Buckets picks up 1 kill with his Reaper ultimate, however, does fall. A lot of the damage that Bastion could have just done, however, Jimmy Buckets does fall to the Reaper. And almost a full team wipe by the Grizzlies right here, with Rad picking up 2 eliminations and Blue trying to chase down the rest of the Buccaneers. I am loving how aggressive the Grizzlies are in this match. It is definitely proving extra helpful. But falls to that Reaper. That was upsetting. They have now crossed that second checkpoint. Blue and Jimmy Buckets are DPS, and they are even spawning closer and closer and closer. Crazy damage. But Rad was just pinned by the opposing Reinhardt. However, he ends up getting the elimination on that Reinhardt. And on both of their supports, Blue and Rad dealing a lot of damage.
Just hunting down that Reaper.
That poor Reaper, it doesn't look like he's going to make it too much farther, but he does use his Wraith to get away.
I would be
Looks like
quaking in my shoes.
especially with somebody like Blue on me like that. I can hear them talking about a
Let's just say I'm glad to be on this side of the screen.
Absolutely.
My boy Blue.
Beautiful pre-lunge by Blue right there
Both
on
of
the
supports
teleporting
and did
Reaper.
a lot of damage right there. 3 eliminations by Blue and 1 by Jimmy Buckets. It looks like Brad is attempting to take down.
Doing some beautiful comms by the Grizzlies right here.
Beautiful, almost team wipe by the Grizzlies, and it was just enough to get their payload to the first checkpoint, allowing them to spawn closer.
Looks like that payload has gotten back ever so slightly.
That was a beautiful.
Ever we've got Jimmy Buckets getting up and ready.
What is different about Dorado than on the hybrid mouse is the fact
Lots of damage being traded between both teams, and a Kitsune rush by the opposing Kiriko in order to buff her team. And they do end up pushing the Grizzlies back ever so slightly, but Blue is getting all up in there. I'm assuming to try to charge his ultimate ability in order to get that Dragon Blade out there as Royal's Nano Boost is ready. His Dragon Blade is now ready as well.
that was beautiful.
The Buccaneers Junkrat has his ult, which if they're grouped up enough, will do serious damage.
And Rad, sorry, Blue, were really hunting that Winston down.
Looks like the Grizzlies were pushed back exceptionally far right here. This would be a beautiful time for a Nano Blade by Blue and Royal, in order to absolutely take hold of this entire game and completely turn the tables.
Looks like Rad is doing his best to block a lot of damage.
That was unexpected. That Junkrat grenade was so perfect. Looks like the Buccaneers continue to push the Grizzlies back.
The Grizzlies currently have less than a
Buckets
minute
picks up
to get it
one
to
kill
the
with his
end.
Reaper ultimate, however, does fall. And almost a full team wipe by the Grizzlies right here, with Rad picking up 2 eliminations and Blue trying to chase down the rest of the Buccaneers. I'm loving how aggressive the Grizzlies are. in this
Beautiful push by the Grizzlies right here, taking out 3 of their characters. Looks like Jimmy Buckets has a lot of momentum right here. Rad absolutely pins that Moira to the wall, eliminating the Moira.
even spawning closer and closer and closer. Crazy damage.
And it looks like Blue and Royal have saved the Nano Blade strat for now.
Getting the elimination on that Reinhardt. And on both of their supports, Blue and Brad.
And it looks like the Nano Blade is now in play. Beautiful eliminations.
But he does use his
Blue does fall, however, there were 3 eliminations for the Grizzlies. But there's a lot of damage being traded right here. The payload is now in overtime, so that's meaning that the Grizzlies have to stay on the payload, or else this first round will be going to the Buccaneers. The Jimmy Bucket does have his ultimate, dealing a lot of damage, taking out the Reaper, still getting healed by our man Shelly. Huge damage being dealt to the Buccaneers right here.
some beautiful comms by the Grizzlies right here.
They seem to have hopped off towards the end.
Enough to get their payload to the first checkpoint, allowing them to spawn closer.
And it looks like 2 points were given to the Grizzlies.
We just have to make sure that the Buccaneers do not get all the way towards the end.
Absolutely. As long as the Grizzlies keep the Buccaneers away from the first checkpoint, the Grizzlies will win the round.
Uh-oh.
It is now up to the Grizzlies in order to keep the Buccaneers away from this payload and stop them from escorting it all the way to their side of the field. Looks like Blue is doing a cowboyish dance right there as Ash.
Wouldn't it be a cowgirl dance, though?
Yes, yes, it would be. I'm excited to see the shots that Blue is about to hit right here on Ash, as he is damage boosted by Shully. Already taking the Ryan down to half health. Really hurting that Bastion as well. Beautiful shots by both Royal and Blue. Beautiful dynamite, beautiful pre-shot by Blue right there on the teleporting Reaper. Huge damage being dealt to the Bastion, and the Bastion does fall to our man Jimmy Buckets on Soldier. Looks like Rad has come forward as Ramatra, who is personally my favorite tank in the game. Looks like the opposing team has switched over to Mr. Winston in order to have some extra shields for their team. Looks like Rad has now jumped into Nemesis form. He's being damage boosted by Shully and gets a kill with his pool. The Grizzlies still have control over this payload, and the Grizzlies are doing a lot better on defense than the Buccaneers were in the initial push. It's looking very promising for the Grizzlies right now, because the Buccaneers just seem to not be able to get onto that payload long enough to keep the Grizzlies away. It looks like the Buccaneers have switched over to Sombra, which is something that I haven't seen in a long time after the initial Sombra nerf. Lots of damage and eliminations by Blue and Royal right there. And again, pushing the Buccaneers back once more. The clock is now at 2 minutes. And it looks like they're trying to stall in their spawn room for all 5 of them to spawn. However, they may not have enough time to do that more than 2 or 3 more times. Looks like the initial push has led them to change over to Orisa to try to counter anything that the Grizzlies throw at them. Rad utilizing his nano pool very beautifully right there in order to keep the Buccaneers back, taking out the Orisa, and it looks like there is a massive flank by the Buccaneers right here. Hopefully Royal will be able to nano Mr. Abe over here in order to get a lot of damage and most likely take out the entire team in his ultimate right here. Huge damage by Abe.
Amazing.
Almost a full team kill, however, was knocked out of his ultimate by the Orisa Javelin. That was beautiful, Rad. I'm proud of you, my man.
Good job.
That payload is still moving backwards, and it just looks like the Buccaneers have absolutely no idea where this payload is. They're not even trying to jump on it.
They have less than a minute to move it to the first point. Her Ash seems to have realized that it was moving backwards.
Huge damage being dealt to the Buccaneers by Rad right here. That disco ball stands no chance against Rad's Nemesis form. Blue hopping in with his rapid fire rifle and using Bob to his advantage in order to get a lot of damage done. Looks like Rad, Blue, and Shully have come together in order to get another team wipe. The Buccaneers only have 10 seconds, however, they're not even moving towards the payload. I don't think they're going to make it on time. Oh, their Reaper did teleport onto the payload in order to barely touch it in time just to get into overtime.
They are in overtime right now, so if they are no longer on it, then it's a win for the Grizzlies.
Absolutely. Huge damage being dealt by Rad right here. And he is almost in his ultimate as he is right now. He's got his ultimate ready, and that is a win for the Grizzlies. That is a 3-0 sweep. GG's to the Buccaneers, but the Grizzlies take home the win 3-0.
Good job, guys.
Absolutely. And the play of the game is going to go to my man Rad again. And oh, his back kind of hurts from carrying the team, of course. Beautiful Earth Shatter.
Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing play by all of our dudes here on the Grizzlies team. Congratulations, that was well deserved.